Welcome to the Mint Customs Workshop. This is the final episode of building a bobber on a budget.
On this last episode, we try things that don't seem to work. Richard sees his own reflection for the very first time.
That was scary.
And some fans pop in to see the finished bike.
It's like a grasshopper, I think.
I don't see how we feel when the stars have faded. I don't see if there's love without the blood.
There's no voting in this episode. We are going to be talking about the money.
Yes. How much has this bike cost? And did it exceed the £5 budget?
We have to include all of the costs for all of the parts that we already had laying around the workshop. As far as money we've actually spent to get the bike to where it is and the new parts we bought to put on this bike. We put a chain on it. We had a couple of new wheel bearings, head race bearings, a fuel tap, a fuel cap, a few other little bits. Probably about 50 quid on paint, a few other little things. It all added up to be around 200 quid. And as far as the rest of the bike and all the parts we had laying around the workshop, I'm going to write a list and get all the prices, and I'll get back to you. So really, once we finished all the fabrication work and we got the footboards in place and we got the levers in place and a few other bits in place, I decided to strip the bike, take the engine out of the frame. The engine needed some work to fix some oil leaks. Frame needed a nice coat of paint, which we wouldn't normally paint a frame. We normally have them powder coated, but this being a budget bike, buying some paint and painting it ourselves was a lot cheaper, so we've done that. We can always have it powder coated in the future, it's not a problem. So I got a coat of paint on the frame, then put the engine back into the chassis. I got the rear wheel realigned because as I was putting the chain on, I realised that the chain wasn't quite in line and the wheel was slightly off centre. I wasn't really happy with the way the wheel fitted into the frame, so I just decided to sit and redo all of the spacers, redone the sprockets, got everything lined up perfectly, got the chain on, it all looks great. The spindle comes in and out of the wheel a lot easier than it used to, so I've got everything back up and running and everything fits perfectly and everything's in line, and I'm much happier with the way it's turned out. We've got to the stage now where we have a front brake, the wheels have been tidied up, I've put a layer of paint on them just to make them look a little bit nicer. Rebuilt the suspension, new seals, new dust seals, new oil, checked all the settings, made sure they're okay, cleaned them all out. So now there's loads of little jobs like fitting the coil, getting the regulator rectifier on board, making a new wiring loom, and bolting other bits on that we've already made that have either been painted or treated, and they're all going back on the bike. I've been slowly sowing a seed with the old man about making a wiring loom, and that is next on our list to do. I have the rear brake done and in place, just need to get a pressure switch for the banjo and bleed up the system. But the brake is in place. I'm using a motocross lever on the end for shits and gigs. Because I've done this and it's this design and it's almost impossible to do any other design with these footboards, the exhaust that I modified and wrapped do not fit. So I'm currently looking at trying to get another set of pipes up and running on this thing. And I don't think these are going to work because it's too much in the way, which is a shame because they're pretty cool.
So the issue seems to be this back pipe, because it's completely in the way. I'm trying to change the way it sits just so we can fit it all in there. So the seat has come back from Fred Pound. He has diamond stitched it with suede, which is what the votes want. We've added some extra foam in this one just so the seating position is a little bit higher. Let's get it bolted on. Once the seat was fitted, the rear pressure switch arrived and I bled up the rear brake. Next was the ignition barrel and fitting the newly painted oil tank with the homemade cap. This is my favourite bit of the whole build, I think. Final assembly, when you're putting all the parts on that have been fabricated and painted and they all look new, and is so much fun. Obviously I enjoy welding and doing fab work, but the final assembly is the bit I look forward to the most. Now to attack the wiring, and yes, we are making a whole wiring loom from scratch.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is what you're going to do with, you're going to do the main beam here. What's this going to be, your start or start?
Yeah.
You've got a horn here.
Is that difficult to put the start on?
No.
Start low.
Start, dip a main beam,
And then
horn, and your brake light you're going to run.
It's got a switch.
Got a switch ready.
Got a pressure switch on the master cylinder on the back.
Yes. Road test tomorrow then.
Yeah,
Radio's on.
because it's sun.
What? Radio's on.
Yeah.
Copyright.
What's he doing, Lee? Watch him, he's a silly little man, watch him. Not yet, I will do, but not with that one. What are you doing, Kevin? Right. Back Jack Lee.
What is he doing?
I cried, I'm coming for you, buddy. That's where I'm bound. I'm talking about hellfire. Oh, hellfire. Yeah, hellfire. That's where I'm bound. I'm talking about hellfire. Oh, hellfire. Yeah, hellfire. That's where I'm bound.
After discovering this bike would only run on one cylinder, we swapped the modules over and rewired the coil, and now she runs on 2 cylinders and sounds lovely. So if we add up all the costs of building this bike, it adds up to be around £4,200. I would like to think we could sell this bike for about 6 grand, which leaves us with £1,800 profit. Bearing in mind my labour, which was 150 hours, which means I would have made around £12 an hour, there was 3 of us building this bike. So £12 an hour divided by 3 is £4 an hour. And this is without considering all the workshop costs, the cost of running the welder, the diesel to get there, the fuel to put in the bike, and all the other little costs like tea bags, milk, and electric bills. I barely made 50p an hour building this motorcycle. I think it is possible to build a custom motorcycle business if you charge high labour costs and if you work really fast. But luckily for us, we have full-time jobs. So this is a hobby shop, and we don't mind if it costs us a little bit of money every now and again, because we get to ride around on sick motorcycles at the weekend.
Okay. Oh, bloody hell, I've done it again. Oh, I've done it again.
Oh my god!
Oh, bloody hell.
What have you done, Dad?
Jesus Christ!
That didn't work, did it? Been planning that all morning.
What are you supposed me to do? Like,
Blow it out.
I'm very calm in this situation. Like,
Dad, I'm blaming your acting. I don't think you were very convincing.
I'm a good actor.
I know by your voice though now when you are like acting.
We want to thank you for watching this series. It's been 6 episodes of pure fun. We've really enjoyed building this bike. We've really enjoyed engaging with you and getting you to vote on what to use. All of these parts that we've done votes on, we've stuck to our word, we've used them, we've made the bike look as best we possibly can on the smallest amount of money. We hope you enjoyed this series. We have plenty of other videos on our YouTube channel which you can catch up on. And we have 4 seasons of Mint Customs, the series, which goes back over 5 years ago. We have the Mint Customs special, if you haven't seen it already. And we have a full range of merchandise that's for sale on our website, parrybrothers.com. If you'd like to sponsor us, you can head over to our Patreon account. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.
All about the sissy bar, mate.